Okay, here's a question, guys. Chat, check this out. With our two new vet players and for what's been happening with us during the summer league, okay, that's before. Do you see this team improving from last season, or do you see us being top 10 in standings? I have a hot take, all right? And before I give that hot take, everybody subscribe to Spurs Invasion. Link below in the description box. Spurs Invasion, baby. By the time wherever, like if I upload this or we record this or whatever and upload it later on, there's gonna be a new video on this channel. Sohan. All right, let's take a look. San Antonio Spurs are actually, we'll just do NBA standings. Here we go now. All right. So do I think the Spurs will improve? That is the question of the day. My friend, yes, I think the Spurs will improve drastically with the addition of Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes. Not only do I think they improve, I think they improve all the way up to 35 wins. I know that's a huge jump, but that's how much I believe in not only Wemby's development and how much better he's going to be coming into this next season, but how much of an impact having someone like Chris Paul on team will give, and how most of this team right now has already had a year under their belt with Wemby. So I could see them being 35, getting about 35 wins. But if you get 35 wins, you're still not top 10, right? Like you're still not in that realm. Now there's a few teams in here that's going to be a little bit worse, right? So we can maybe sneak in there. But I don't know if the Spurs will be, they definitely won't be top 8. But maybe they could sneak into that play-in. But with 35 wins, at least if we're basing off of last season, that doesn't get you anywhere, like at all. You go up just a few more spots if we're basing it off of last season. If you're looking at it in the East, that gives you a pretty good chance right there. But in the West, unfortunately, if it's anywhere near how it was this past season, no, not at all. It's also kind of crazy that with all the struggles the Warriors had last season, they still managed to get 46 wins. That's actually really impressive. I'm not going to lie. But the one thing that actually gives me a lot of hope for the Spurs and why I think we can win 35 is they got so much better later on the season. So this last season, I am not used to looking at all these L's. I'm going to make you guys feel sad in a minute, okay? But when we hit the month of March or near the end of March, the Spurs actually looked really impressive. Like you got a dub, couple L's, couple L's. They happen. And then a dub, L, dub, L, dub, dub. But as a team, not just looking at the win-loss column, if you were actually paying attention and watching each game, as I did, through better and worse, we watched all the games. I will say that as a team, they started looking much better around the month of February. Like they looked more cohesive. They were passing the ball better. Guys looked more comfortable. Defense, I thought, improved, slightly for what all things considered. But there's only so much you can do when you don't have any defenders on your team coming off the bench, that is. So anyways, I thought the Spurs looked much better, and that's how much I believe in them. And it wasn't even a matter, because sometimes it'll be, well, it's near the end of the season. Guys are kind of like, our teams are chilling out. They're sitting a lot of guys. That was actually not the case this season. A lot of these teams were in crucial situations, right? Like the Denver Nuggets, they were in a crucial situation. They didn't need to sit anybody, late in the season. And everybody was so close. Everyone in such close quarters that, a lot of teams and even good teams didn't want to afford to, or couldn't afford to just, take a game off or whatnot. So it was a little different season this season. So, I believe in us. I think we can get to 35, but I still don't think that's good enough. Still don't think it's good enough, but it's fine. But so to answer your question, we will improve significantly, I think. But top 10, I don't think so, homie. I don't think so. I don't think so. And this might be controversial to say, all right? Part of me, all right, I'm going to be cheering. It is not one of those situations where, you know, a couple seasons ago, I was like, I need our Spurs to lose. You remember, like, people were really upset. People were really angry about that. They're like, why would you want the Spurs to lose? Don't you want to win? I'm like, I want Wemby. Screw everything else. We need to lose right now. Like, I was totally comfortable with losing. I wanted us to lose. I'm not in that spot right now. But if the Spurs were to lose some games this season, I'm not that mad. I'm not that mad. 2025 is a phenomenal draft. I'm cool. I'm cooling. But if they want to win, we're fine as well. And I think that's even more of a reason why I've come off the Trae Young stuff so heavy. I mean, even, you know, before we got Chris Paul, is because our Spurs will improve. And if they're trying to go in for a play-in, and let's just say miraculously we make it into the playoffs, we need something to lean back on. Now that you have that little bit of a safety net where you have the Atlanta Hawks, who are inevitably going to be a pretty bad team, right? Like, they're going to be a pretty bad team. There's no way around it. They're way too inexperienced, way too young. Like, it's just going to happen. So you have a team like them that's going to struggle. Even if you make the playoffs, you can still lean on their pick, and their pick is unprotected. So I'm cool either way. I'm cool with it.